Hi everyone, this is Tracy from WeCraft at Home, and as you can see we're doing a dad card for Father's Day. This will be the back of the card, and it's got the score line down it so that we can stick it to the front part of the card. And then we've got several layers just to make it stick out a little bit. And this red bit here, we're going to cut out the square, but what it is, it's the size we need of a photo to put in there. So it's a little bit different, and we're going to do it side to side instead of like a tent card. Just make it a little bit different, and that's why we have to do it separately, because it's too long otherwise, or too small. So we start off by doing our word. Now the font you do need a bold font, but trust me, I spent an hour doing this, just picking a font, because you need the space in between the D to be very big so that you can fit a photo in. And most of the really bold fonts are very small in the middle. So I had a lot of trouble picking out the right one. I don't like it so wide, so I narrowed mine up a little bit just by pulling it in. And then what we have to do is divide it. Once you divide it, it's not a font anymore, it's just a shape like everything else. Well, anyway, we're going to move it forward because I don't like the space either. I want it to be a bit closer to the A, and this one a little bit closer, so that they look pretty similar distance, and that's got to come out a little bit. That looks about right to me. Okay, so now we're going to group this again. And we're going to offset, and we want to offset at 8 outward, and you need to untick this box because we want the inner as an outline as well. So there we go. See if it's done it separately or joined. So click one, hold shift, and click the other two letters. And then we'll drag them down. And these ones will not be. So these ones we're going to have to divide. And then subtract. There we go. And you just need to do that with all of them. Divide, subtract. Divide and subtract. Now select them all and weld, and then we're going to offset again. So the same, you don't have to change anything this time, and just click OK, and there we go. Again, we want to divide and subtract. So that's our three main layers. If you just get them all together and center, center. And that is the three main layers. 1, 2. As you can see, mine are further apart, so they don't go together as well as yours. So now we just want one more layer. So you click the outer layer that you've just done, And this time you want to put the tick back in, because we don't want any of the middle. There we go. And that will be your card base. So as you can see, mine is not as sturdy as yours. I had to put some extra bits along the top to join it, and down here to join it. Where I've put it a bit closer together, we don't need to do that, so it's even better. Okay, let's get all this out the way so I can keep showing you. Rather than go find it again, I'm going to keep hold of that as well. Okay, so now we've got the card blank. We want to duplicate, and then we're going to need to put a little shape on one of them so that they are the back card. I just used a rectangle. You can use any shape you like, and let's get in a bit closer so we can see what we're doing. So if I do this, I know if you go up, the height is 189. So if I hit this, I know that height I want the same. So if I press 189, it will go the same size. And then if I pick both and go through the middle, that way they are now on the same length. And then I want to move it in a little bit so that it welds nicely. It doesn't matter how big you make it, just don't make it too big. I'm going to put a little bit extra on there. I'm not worried about too much about the how much there is. So we've got that, and what we want to do is weld them both. So we've got our extra tab there, but where do we put the score line? So what I thought I'd do is bring this one down, make sure it's on top, which it is because I can see that. And I know that the score line has to go before this bump, because we don't want to see the card bit coming out past here. So path tool before the bump, so click, shift, straight down and double click, and then you are changing it to a score line. And then before you put the two together, you can lift this one back off and know that that one is in the right place. Oh no, I've lifted the wrong one back off. Okay, so I'm going to send that one to the back. That's it, and lift this one off, and then that is in the right place. So pick the two and group it so that it doesn't move. Display, zoom to match size, and there we have the back and front of our card, all them bits to go on it. Let's just put it all together. Okay, I know that one's got to come over a little bit. So select all, and all you want to do is make sure that the width goes just over 8. And then you can move it all up so it's a bit higher. And that's about the size of the card you're going to be doing. This is a font I got from Design Bundles. That will go sit nicely in the middle, and I'm going to select to draw that. if you want it drawn, coloured in, then you have to fill it in with a colour. And then when you go over, it will colour it in for you. I didn't check. Let me just do that. Oh, come on. Try at the back. Yeah, so what you're going to have to do is divide and subtract. Yeah, can't do it all at once, so do this. Let me just check something. It's because it's already okay, so we can just take these bits out. They're already done. Okay, so if it stays coloured in, then it will fill in the whole word for you if that's what you wanted. That's what I want to do, so I'm going to leave mine coloured in. Make sure you size it perfectly so that it will go inside there, and make sure you place it perfectly on the front card for you to be able to write it. So if I now group that, size it down, bring it over, and then I'm going to move in real close. That's the back of the card, it doesn't need that. I need the front. That needs to be smaller. There we go, so that's in the centre of that. And then we will have the photo in there with the square that we cut out. Literally, I mean, it doesn't have to be a square. Let's do a rectangle, for example. Just so you know, you want to leave yourself enough space to stick as well. Don't forget that. Just so you know roughly where the photo can go. So obviously it's going to be a tiny photo. But we know we need it about there. So that's the stuff you now need to cut out in the colours that you have chosen. And we will go over to the craft desk. I'll see you over there. Hi, just a quick edit. I was thinking if you wanted a bigger space to put a photo, I'll show you how to do that quickly. So if you do the offset at 0.8, like we said, and we get these, you can take each one, divide it, and then if you take this one and do another offset at 0.4, and then put that, replace that one, so we don't want that one. I'll just do it with the one letter so I'm pretty much quicker. Okay, look, if you just cover that, get them both and weld them, then you're going to cover up that hole. And then you get this one and put it in place. You want to check you've got it right, centralise it. And then if you do that one again, obviously you'll be doing the whole word. I'm just showing you to do the the letter just so that I can show you. And there. So then this one, again we need to send that to the back. Now this one, is it bigger? Let's try 12. Let's see how that works. There we go. So it's just a tiny bit smaller, and it gives you a bit more room to put the photo then, because that will be where the photo goes. So that does give you a lot more room if you want to do that. I think I'm going to do that because the other one didn't have a lot of room. So make sure if you do that that you change your shape to fit that. I know it's not a lot of space, but it does give you an extra little bit of space. Just a quickie. Okay. I'll see you over at the craft desk. Hi, so I'm over at the craft table. I've done the, I've written the font on there like that. This card looked grey earlier. It doesn't really look so grey now, but I'll carry on anyway. So I've got the back of my card, and I'll fold it and put some glue on and put the card together. I prefer wet glue because it stays stuck better, I think. Sometimes when it's really heavy card, I will go to tape, but I will still use a bit of glue to stick the tape down. Okay, so I've made sure it's matched before I stick down, and that way I haven't got the fold coming out of there. So there's our shaped card. The 3 layers we've got. Now it's up to you if you want to stick straight down or use pads. I'm going to do a bit of both. I'm going to stick the first layer straight down. I'm just making sure that I fit it in the right places. These ones are 2-inch pads, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get out my small 1-inch ones so that I've got somewhere to put the photo and it's still low enough down. So there they are. So just 1-inch pads. Let's see, how much room have we got? Probably not a lot, but it needs to be up a little bit so that we can put the photo in behind it. So I'm just going to do a few around. and it's 1mm pads, sorry, not 1 inch. I'm sure most of you caught up on that. Okay, so we want it on the last D. I'm just gonna do that and then turn it around and see how I've done. Okay, not great. What I've done most of them half off, so we can hide them. Just push them to the side like this, and most of them will do as they're told. There we go. And then we will go back in with the 2 inch pad, 2mm thickness. Oh, I'm going through these pads. I've gone a bit mad with the pads. Okay, so I've taken these two off because you need a space in the top to put the photo in. Obviously you'd be putting your photo in before you stick it down. So I've stuck the card together like you saw, and I did start to stick this down with glue and realised that I totally mucked that up. That you need pads because your photo. Now your little square, you need to leave a slit at the top to slit your photo in, or stick it on your square before you stick it down. Okay, and then stick it down. I haven't done mine because I just I want to get the card done and show you. So the next one is also on pads. Do the boring bit. There we go. And then we got the last one, and I think I'll glue that on because otherwise it's too many pads. It'll make the front very heavy. Now I've used very subtle colours. You could be bright and cheery. I had a feeling that was upside down. Sorry, stuck it the wrong way. So another mistake, make sure you're sticking it the right way round. Okay, and then the last one, is it that way? No. I feel like that's it. And of course you can extend it to say Daddy. If you do that, you'll probably have to do it a bit smaller. That's the only problem with this. Okay, so you will have a card left like that with a photo in there, which is actually, it's bigger than I imagined it would be. If you see my hand, it's better than I thought it would be. And then you'll have the inside to do your insert. If you want to cut out an insert, if you just take the shape of the card and do -8 inward on the offset, then it will be the perfect shape to do an inside card. And then all you've got to do is decorate, which is the difficult part. It's going to depend what your dad is into. You know, I've got my father-in-law, he's into gardening, so I've got some little charm gardening tools I could put around. Or my dad is not really into anything much. Music, so musical notes maybe, things like that. Add things coming up. You've got a little bit of space. If you use an A5 envelope, you've got a little bit of space for stuff to come up and out, if you want to do that. There's so many things you can do, but you know, that is the basic card. There's no point in me showing you how to decorate unless you know what they're particularly into. I'm unfortunate, neither of mine are into sport, so I do have that against me. Okay, well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next week. Bye for now.